Hello, welcome to DevOps for your family. My name is Rajeshwar. Today we are going to deploy a EC2 instance in North Virginia region. So let us get started. If you see, these are the prerequisites that is needed for in order to deploy the resource in AWS. So we have gone through all this one, and let us jump to deploy the EC2 instance, that is the virtual machines in North Virginia region. Then we will go with the flow. So our ultimate aim today is to deploy a EC2 instance with a web page with this script, and we'll be installing the HTTPD service, web service, during the EC2 deployment, as a part of EC2 deployment, and we will be using the ESR data. So to deploy this during our bootstrap during the EC2 instance. Okay, fine. So let me just go through. So this is the flow. So first we need to just log into the IAM user. I think you guys can able to enable MFA by watching my referring my other video. So once I log in with my IAM user, and I'll be selecting my default region as US East one, that is North Virginia. And if you go and just search for this EC2, so you see we can able to, you cannot able to find this one, right? We can able to bookmark this one, the all the services. If you see, here you go. So this is the EC2 instance. So what we need to go through here, like launch, we need to just select the launch instance. Okay, so how many instance we need? So we can just go with one instance for now. By the way, before we get into this one, free, we go to free trial. I think I don't have access because I have logged in with this IAM user. Okay, fine. So let us go with this one. So I'll be just launching this instance, and I'll be just giving demo server. This is the name of the server. This is just a tag name. Okay, and you can add additional, you can add up to 50 tags per instance. So for example, if I just add uh, uh, okay, I'm just adding this tag, and this one we need to just get some visibility. If you you have to be very careful while choosing this one, because we have only 750 hours Amazon is giving free. So whenever you are creating any resources, you ensure to delete before you sign out the console or after the practice. So here I'll be just selecting free tier only. So here if you see Amazon Linux, Red Hat, SUSE, and also there will be a Microsoft 22 base OS, and Core and Windows 2019. Okay, so I'll be selecting Amazon Linux AMI. Okay, so uh, select this one. This is the latest one, so I can go with Amazon Linux 2. Once I selected this one, we need to, this is the AMI ID which we referred or which we talk about in our previous video. Okay, so here the instance type. The instance type combination of CPU and RAM. So you need to just select the free eligible. So if you able to see this free eligible, you can select this one. So if you select any other instance type that will be just here. It's we can call this tiny, that is the T2, and we are having more and more EC2 instance type, like kind of I can say the tiny one, and compute memory optimized. If you just search with memory, you can able to see memory and A1, C1, that's compute optimized, memory optimized, but we are going with T2. So you just select T2 micro, that will have one CPU and 1 GB RAM. This is free tier eligible. Okay. So key pair. So what is this key pair? So whenever we are logging with the server, there will be a authentication. We need to have a username and password, right? So Amazon, what they are doing, we need to create a key pair in order to connect to the EC2 instance. So there will be two things. One is called a public key, another is called a private key. So public key will be saved like inside the instance, and we are having the key that is the private key that we use to unlock the public key. So I have already created a key with KR key. So if you want, you can just go, let me guide you how can we create this one. So we go to services, key pair. Yeah. So if you just click this key pair, it's coming. Okay, so we can able to go from here. So yeah, just create a key pair, just a name. I can just demo key. I'm not going to create, I'm just giving you an example. So there will be two types, RSA and ED251. We'll be always selecting RSA, and there will be two format, .pem and .ppk. So .pem you can just download. So whenever you need to connect any Windows instance using putty, this PEM file is not support for this format. So you need to download the putty gen to convert this PEM file to PPK format. But currently we are having this Linux, so that will support PEM format. So we can just create this one. So if you see, I have created this key and I have downloaded my key. So this is very like confidential key. You are not supposed to share this key to anyone, because uh, if someone get this key, they can able to access our EC2 instance. By the way, that we can able to restrict, but this is something important we need to know. Yeah. So I am selecting the KR key and network setting. I'm going to edit this one. So if you see, this is the default VPC. We are going to deploy this one. In our later video, we'll be creating a custom VPC and custom subnet in order to deploy our resources. So I'll be selecting this default one, and preference, you can able to give any preference if you want. And if you recall our video, we have talked about the availability zone, right? This is for the HA. If you are going to deploy your application in three or two different availability zone, though, then you are enabling the HA for that one. So right now I'm not, I can just pick this one A, and our server will be EC2 will be deployed in this subnet, and auto public IP enable, because in a corporate environment we don't have or we are not supposed to enable this public IP, and for connecting this is needed because we don't have any VPN connectivity to the server. We are connecting our internet to the Amazon public IP, so this is more important. Let me just have something. So two things. Okay, so here consider this, we are having EC2. Okay, and this is our laptop ISP. This is our office. So two different way of access. So whenever you are connected or we are having our we are learning here, right? So there won't be any connectivity from our local laptop to AWS. So that is the reason we are enabling the public IP, because I'm connected, my laptop is connected with my ISP, that is I'm having my public IP, and this instance also need a public IP. Without that we cannot able to connect that public IP to the private IP if you don't deploy with the public IP. And in real time in office, how this work, there will be two things. We can enable VPN connectivity from our office to AWS, so that we no need public IP, and also if needed we can enable the AWS direct connect. These are the two options, because in production we will not enable any uh, public IP on the EC2 instance. Okay, so now here I am enabling the auto assign public IP enable, and this is the security group. So what is this security group? For example, I am having a public IP, and here also it's having a public IP. So in order to allow, because this EC2 instance which is deployed in North Virginia, US East one, right? So we need to have a security firewall attached, or is the mechanism to filter your traffic, that AWS is ensuring that by allowing this access, that is called inbound access from, there will be three type of access: custom, and we can have our own IP, and we can allow it for everyone in the world. So I'll be restricting with my IP. So whenever I'm connecting, I'll be attaching the security group to ensure that I'm the only person able to access this one. Yeah, that is the security group. It's kind of a firewall. So I'm just selecting the existing security group. There is a default one, and I'll be modifying this one. Okay. So this is advanced networking. This is the ENI network interface, which will be attached with the security group. If you want, you can just specify the primary IP address if you need it. And this is the storage configuration. So by default, if you see my pre-request ABS root volume, so the OS volume here we are calling as a root volume. For Linux it will be created with the 8 GB. For Windows it will allocated with 30 GB, but this is the default one. You are good to increase the size. Why I'm limiting here? Because we only have the 30 GB free tier available. Okay, we can able to add new volume also, and if you need, you can able to encrypt. That is the advanced option, where that we will look into later. And go to advanced detail instance profile. We are having the administrator access, so for now we no need to attach any role. And this is the user data. So in order to install something, after we deploy the EC2 instance and connecting and installing, that will be a headache. So we can able to enable the script. This is a bash file that will, this will be get executed during the bootstrap. So this is one time, so it will be executed upon the EC2 install deployment. Okay, so I'm just launching the instance now. So there will be two status check involved here. If you see status check, yeah, if we connect this one, so status one is this still in pending. So there will be two things: one is system status check, another one is instance status check. That two should pass, then only the server will we can consider the server is successfully deployed. So still it's running, it's initializing now. You see status check info and instant check. So these are the two checks that will be performed during the EC2 instant deployment. Okay, so these are the detail of the server. So what is instant ID, what is the public IP and instant state and the private IP and the instance type name and VPC and the subnet. Monitoring, we have not enabled any monitoring on that one. And security, if you go to the security, this is the security group which we attached during the deployment of the server. And networking, if you see, this is a public IP, a DNS name, subnet ID, and if you see this, we have selected as a US East 1A, the availability zone. Fine. And I'm just waiting for the EC2 instance to come up. Still in initializing state. Okay. Meanwhile, let us go to the security group. If you see, this is the default security group we attached. All traffic it was allowed, and let me just edit this one. So all traffic is allowed for the own sub security group. So this is just we are opening the security group for the same security group itself. So and we are just opening this SSH port 22. I will just add my IP. So this will be, you can just select custom. If you custom, you can able to give the one IP or towards a subnet, but or anywhere you can just give. So anyone can access this one, but I am strictly restricting with my IP. This is for SSH in order to connect the server through SSH. And this is for HTTP. We need to access the server through, because there will be two port like HTTP it's 80 and the secure port HTTP is 443. The application, the sample application we deployed it just HTTP, it don't have any certificate. So I'll be just, if I'm not adding this inbound rule, then we cannot able to access the application. So let me save this one. Okay, there will be two rule. One is inbound rule. We need to allow the inbound rule, then only we can able to access the server. I have only allowed for SSH, not the HTTP. Let us check whether we can able to access the application or so. By default, all outbound rules are allowed. So as I said, this is a stateful firewall. So we no need to allow anything extra, or the outbound is allowed by default. By there is another one called NACL, that is a network access control list, that is a state list. In that we need to explicitly allow the custom NACL with inbound and outbound rules. And in NACL we can able to deny the traffic. In security group we cannot be able to deny, it's only we can able to allow. Yeah. So if I go to the instance, fine. If you see 2/2 check was paused, that means the instance is running now. And if I try to access this port using the public IP, we cannot able to access the application. Why? The reason behind, we have not allowed the inbound connection for the application, that is HTTP. Yeah. So if you see, it will keep on just, it cannot able to reach the page. And I said I have enabled SSH, right? So let me go to my this is the key. So how can I connect? If you come here in the instance, if you just connect, there will be a 2 3 4 uh, option available. So I'm just choosing this. I have already enabled this one, but by the way, I'll be enabling this one now again. You see, we are just giving the permission for the file. Then I'll be connecting this instance using SSH. So if I just paste this one, you see, right? Yeah, now I have successfully logged in to the server, right? Now I just want to check whether my installation was done or not. So I'll just cat this. So you see, this script was successfully updated in the system. That means our user data which we provided during the EC2 installation was successful, but still we are not able to access the application, but we can able to access the server using SSH. Why? We have enabled the inbound rule for 22 from my IP. Now what I will do, I will just allow HTTP, and I'll be allowing only from my IP, okay, and the port number is 80. The moment I save this one, and keep in mind this security groups are in nature, it will be enabled on the fly. If you do any changes on the security group, it will be get enabled once you click, or once you click the once you update the security group. So now let us see the magic. Can you able to see this one, right? So this is our web page, and welcome to DevOps for You family. Please visit this one. So this is our channel. So now we can able to access the application as well as the server which was deployed into AWS in North Virginia region. So that was good learning, right? So now you just go through this one. So this is the step we follow. So if you see, we have attached the keypad, and there is a EBS volume 8 GB we have attached, and this is the public IP. We try to connect the server SSH as well as the application, and we have given the user data for the sample web server deployment, and we access the web page using the public IP, and we have updated the security group with inbound for SSH 22. If you go here, SSH 22 from only from my IP, not only from my IP. Okay, by just using so only from my IP, and HTTP only from my IP. So if you see this one, you can able to access the application. Maybe let me just try to access the from the private window. Yeah, you see the application is accessible now. So I just want to walk you through the way how it deployed. So this is the flow. So whenever the user is accessing the web page, it's going to the internet gateway in AWS. In the internet gateway, it was mapped with the VPC, and the VPC, it was there was a subnet available. The route table are associated with the subnet, and there will be a security group we have enabled for the inbound access, and from the inbound security rule, it will be hitting into the EC2. If I go here, if I go to VPC, I will show you all the flow here. So this is the default VPC, and this is 6 subnet. In 6 subnet, we have chosen one region, that is availability zone. If you see this one, The available zone which we choose was US East 1A. So there is a default route table. So in the route table, the local traffic will be, if I have another server deployed, in order to communicate the server within the VPC, that traffic considered as the local, and anything apart from this traffic it's considered as the internet. So all other traffic will be going to internet gateway. So this is the internet gateway, this one. So if I have one more server, that will be talking with the private IP. So now it has associated with the VPC. Now it has associated with internet gateway. The traffic will go here from the EC2. This is incoming. This is outgoing from the EC2 to the end user, right? So yeah. So if I go here, so this is the route table which was associated default route table, and here if you see, this is the all the subnet which was associated as a part of the route table association, and we have chosen 1A subnet, right? This is the default one. If you are creating a custom subnet and route table, we need to do it manually. That will be that we will be doing in the later videos. And internet gateway, this is the internet gateway that will be attached to the default VPC. And elastic IP, I just want to give a quick summary on this elastic IP. What is this elastic IP? Elastic IP are I can say a static IP that will be given to an instance, but be careful if you are creating any elastic IP, that should be associated with the instance. If else, it will be chargeable. You can create 5 elastic IP, and if you want to create more, we need to contact AWS. Okay, and this is chargeable if you are not attaching with any of the EC2 instance. So currently, I will be destroying my server. I don't want to associate this one, but in later video, I'll be show you how this can be attached to the EC2 instance. Okay, why we need elastic IP? Because if the instance, if you see the instance, currently it has 54.198.49.184. Yeah, so by chance, if I stop and start the EC2 instance, the IP address will get changed. So we cannot get the static IP of the instance. So in order to get the static IP of the instance, we need to have the elastic IP associated with the EC2 instance. Okay, let me see. This is, anyway, I'm having the IP address here. So let us check. Okay. So why the elastic IP, the static IP being this IP, public IP is changed? Because whenever you stop and stop the instance, in backend the AWS having AWS hosted their infra in Zen, okay, Zen virtualization. So in that visualization, that host, this VM will be get deployed on top of their hypervisor, right? So whenever you are stop and start, this EC2 instance will change from one host to another host. That is the reason this IP is not a static public IP. Private IP remains same, only the public IP. Okay, if we just check this, you see now the public IP, it was changed to 52.205. Previously it was 54, right? So now if I go and hit this one, we will get the page cannot be accessible or open. So we cannot keep on changing the IP address. So if I just open this one, this will our application should respond this one now. Yeah, still it's in initialization staging state. It should be come with toolbar to check past. Then only we can able to access our application using this new public IP. I'm just waiting for the instance to come up. So when I delete this inbound rule, we cannot able to access the server as well as the application cannot be accessible. Let me show that now. Once the instance is up, let me show that one. Okay, so let's loading. And also we can able to connect the EC2 instance through this EC2 instance connect, but this is not available for all the OS. Since it's Amazon Linux, we can able to connect, else we need to use a session manager or SSH client. So is it, so if you want to just check this one, still not, it will take another less than 30 seconds to come up. Yeah, you see now this check paused. So probably if you want to just check something here, instance actions monitor, get a screenshot. Yeah, you can able to see what is the instance state now, right? Yeah, so now if I hit, the application should accessible now. Why? Probably I'm just checking with the old IP, so it, we should connect with the new IP, new public IP. Yeah, this one. If I just open this one, now we should get our web page. Why still not coming? Okay, wait a second. Yeah, here we go. So we can able to access the application using the new IP after we stop and start the EC2 instance. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and we'll catch up with another new video.